I didn't realize when Tom Brady retired that he was negotiating with Stephen Ross. Did you? Were you aware that Stephen Ross, the owner of the Dolphins, wanted Tom Brady to be a minority owner of the Dolphins? Did you know that the Dolphins didn't want to hire Xavier McDaniel? Instead, they wanted to hire Sean Payton, the erstwhile coach of the New Orleans Saints? Were you aware of any of this when Tom Brady unretired and said he was going back to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and then Bruce Arians got fired? Just asking. A couple days ago, it came out that there was a full plan in place with the Miami Dolphins, and that plan was ready to be executed on. They were going to make Tom Brady just like Derek Jeter. And at the time, Derek Jeter was still with the Marlins as the owner and CEO, getting a lot of attention around town. There's connectivity between Brady and Jeter, only in that Brady's the GOAT, Jeter's not. And Jeter has a house in Tampa that Brady lived in, and they each played for only one team. Oh, no, Brady played for two teams. Yeah, no, they're not similar at all. But that said, Stephen Ross, the owner of the Dolphins, has had a career as an owner in Miami that makes my career as president look good. No playoff wins, no Super Bowls, obviously, no conference championship appearances, obviously, because he's never won a playoff game. Done a lot of cool things with Dolphin Stadium, which is now called Hard Rock Stadium. They're having the Grand Prix there in a couple weeks. Just they have the tennis tournament there that moved up from Homestead, just a lot from Key Biscayne. I mean, so a lot of cool things. But there's one thing that Stephen Ross is obsessed over as he hits into his 85th year. He's newly single. He's all excited. Everything's great. He wants to win, and he's got a chance to do something that every Dolphins fan wants to do. Give a little etz, a zutz. I can't think of the Yiddish word right now. I think it's a zetz to Robert Kraft and the New England Patriots. Because Tom Brady is known as a Patriot, he's not known as a Buccaneer, even though he won a Super Bowl with him. And my point is that when you have a chance to do something to your rival, you're going to do it. So Steve Ross says, hey, I think you and Giselle would be super happy in Miami. You're not going to live your life in Boston. You sold your house in Boston. You could go to L.A., but you're going to get lost in a sea of celebrities. You've got LeBron out in L.A., who's already started an entertainment company. You can come here and own Miami because Jeter has got nothing accomplished. And the fact is, I spoke to Bruce Sherman. He's going to get his ass fired. So why don't you come to Miami? We're going to give you a deal where you're going to get a percentage of the team. You have to make absolutely zero investment up front. We'll frame it for tax reasons as a profit participation. Then we're going to put you as the top of the front office the way Elway is or was in Denver, and you're going to live happily ever after. Don't worry about Dan Marino and what role he has because he's not interested anymore in being the top guy. He's got his own issues. He tried. He had a chance. This is going to be your town, your city. Wait a minute. We have a small problem. We just are going to fire our black coach. So we just have to figure out how we're going to do that because we want to bring in a white coach. We're going to have to do some interviews, and then we're going to bring in another white head of football operations, but we've got Chris Greer, who's black, so I think it's all going to work out fine. Let's proceed. Let's start putting paper to pen. Pen to paper. Uh-oh. Tom, I'm so sorry. Can you believe what just happened? Brian Flores just sued us. Yeah, the guy used to be the coach. He alleged not just racial discrimination against us, but the entire league. And on top of that, he's accusing me of throwing games. Oh, my God, there's way too much heat, way too much heat. We can't do it. We got to find another coach. We have to find another coach. We can't have Sean Payton. We got to find a coach who has some sort of connection. We have to find a minority coach, which I think, what's McDaniel's first name, Coca? Because it's definitely not Xavier. I think I said Xavier. He was a player for the Knicks and the Celtics. Mike McDaniel, thank you. So we have to make sure that we can't hire your guy. And frankly, Tom, we can't hire you. It's off. Can we just delay this by a year? Why don't you go back, play for Tampa for 1 year? Because we'll see in the Super Bowl. That may be fun, but you won't be competing directly against us, and then we'll execute our plan after. I know I'll be a year older, but I'm good. If you're running a team, do you allow yourself to change plans because of the lawsuit that Brian Flores Can you imagine the PR heat that you're feeling? Or do you imagine the guilty conscience that you have, which doesn't need even one single accuser, but then you get the single accuser? Can you imagine why the Dolphins never win? Because they actually have a plan and then refuse to execute it. And believe me, I understand what it is to make a plan and not execute it, and then switch plans more often than you switch your underwear. I get it. But finally, the Dolphins were thinking they know what they were going to do, and it disappeared. That's some pretty serious power you're giving to Brian Flores. But I'm going to give you a wait to see. And the wait to see is that eventually this will all calm down. The Brian Flores lawsuit will go away. It will not survive a motion to dismiss. And then there'll be some changes made. And then you will see Tom Brady in his post-playing day career end up in the Dolphins front office. You want to do a wait to see, Coca? Here it is. Tom Brady will end up with the Dolphins after his playing career is over.